Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the exciting casting developments and character returns that are shaking up Port Charles this week. Bringing beloved faces back to our screens and promising dramatic confrontations that will leave fans on the edge of their seats. The Queen returns to her castle. The Quartermaine mansion is about to feel a lot more dramatic as the incomparable Jane Elliott makes her highly anticipated return to General Hospital as the formidable Tracy Quartermaine. After spending several weeks away from Port Charles, presumably handling business matters and family affairs beyond the scope of our Port Charles canvas, Tracy is back with her signature sharp wit and no-nonsense attitude fully intact. The Emmy-winning actress whose portrayal of Tracy has become legendary in daytime television history will be sharing powerful scenes with Wally Kurt, who brilliantly brings her on-screen son Ned Quartermaine to life. The reunion between mother and son promises to deliver the kind of compelling family drama that General Hospital fans have come to expect from the Quartermaine clan. Tracy's return couldn't come at a more crucial time as the family continues to navigate complex business dealings and personal relationships that threaten to tear them apart. Her presence in the mansion will undoubtedly stir things up, especially considering her complicated history with various family members and her tendency to speak her mind regardless of whose feelings might get hurt in the process. The chemistry between Elliott and Kurt has always been electric, capturing the essence of a mother-son relationship that is equal parts loving and contentious. Supportive yet challenging, the Casadini prince emerges from the shadows. James Patrick Stewart is set to continue his captivating portrayal of the enigmatic Volante Casadini, one of Port Charles' most complex and morally ambiguous characters. The skilled WASB operative and former Casadini heir will be making his presence known starting Monday, December 15th. And his appearances will continue throughout the week in what promises to be a significant storyline development. Valentine has always been a character who operates in shades of grey. Never fully villain nor completely hero, making him one of the most fascinating figures in Port Charles. Stewart's nuanced performance has brought depth and humanity to a character who could easily have been portrayed as a one-dimensional antagonist. Instead, Valentine has become a fan favorite with viewers drawn to his complicated relationship with his daughter Charlotte, his romantic entanglements, and his ongoing struggle to balance his dangerous past with his desire for redemption and a normal life. His return to the canvas this week suggests that major plot developments are on the horizon, potentially involving his family connections, his WSB activities, or perhaps both. Whatever brings Valentine back into the spotlight, fans can expect intense drama and morally complex situations that will challenge both the character and the audience's perceptions of right and wrong. WSB power player returns to Port Charles. Chris McKenna is reprising his role as the powerful and mysterious Jack Brennan, the WASB bigwig whose influence extends far beyond what most Port Charles residents can imagine. Brennan's presence in town always signals that something significant is about to unfold. And this week will be no exception. On Monday, December 15th, viewers will witness an intriguing interaction between Brennan and Eden McCoy's Jocelyn Jacks. A meeting that could have far-reaching implications for the young woman's future and possibly tie into larger storylines involving the WSB and their covert operations. The dynamic between these two characters promises to be fascinating as Joss represents the younger generation of Port Charles while Brennan embodies the shadowy world of international espionage and intelligence operations. Their conversation could reveal new information about ongoing investigations. Or perhaps Brennan needs Joss's help with something that requires her unique perspective and connections within the Port Charles community. Later in the week on Thursday, December 18th, Brennan will confide in writes Carly Caranthos, one of Port Charles' most formidable women and someone who knows how to handle sensitive information and dangerous situations. This conversation between Brennan and Carly suggests that whatever is happening involves high stakes and potentially dangerous circumstances that could affect multiple families in Port Charles. The legal system heats up. Noting contractor is making a welcome return to General Hospital as Justine Turner, the Port Charles Assistant District Attorney who always brings a compelling blend of legal authority and personal complexity to her scenes. On Monday, December 15th, Turner will be meeting with two of Port Charles' most powerful men, Maurice Bernard's Sonny Caranthos, the coffee importer with mob connections, and Rick Hurst's Rick Lansing, the brilliant attorney with his own complicated history in Port Charles. This meeting promises to be explosive as it brings together three characters whose relationships are fraught with history, tension, and conflicting interests. Justine's position as assistant district attorney means she operates within the bounds of the law, while Sonny exists in a world where legal boundaries are often blurred or ignored entirely. Rick, caught between these two worlds as both a legal professional and someone with deep personal connections to Sonny, will likely find himself in a difficult position as he tries to navigate whatever legal or personal crisis has brought these three together. The discussion could involve ongoing investigations, legal proceedings against someone in Sonny's organization, or perhaps a case that requires unusual cooperation between the DA's office and Port Charles' most notorious businessman. Family drama on the teenage front. The younger generation of Port Charles residents is also getting involved in the week's drama as Finn Carr returns to portray Rocco Falconer, the son of Dominic Zamprogna's detective Dante Falconer. On Tuesday, December 16, Rocco will be issuing an ultimatum to his father, a development that signals serious tension within the Falconer family unit. Ultimatums between parents and children are never easy. And when delivered to someone like Dante, who prides himself on being a good father and role model, the emotional impact will be significant. Rocco's willingness to draw a line in the sand with his father suggests that he's dealing with something serious. Whether it's about Dandy's dangerous job, his relationship choices, or perhaps how he's handling family matters related to Rocco's mother and the broader family dynamics. The scene promises to showcase the challenges of parenting teenagers who are developing their own strong opinions and aren't afraid to challenge their parents when they feel something is wrong or unfair. Dante will have to decide how to respond to his son's ultimatum while maintaining his authority as a parent and staying true to his own principles and responsibilities. The Casadini daughters' revelation. Also on Tuesday, December 16, Lucy Burke will be reprising her role as Charlotte Casadini, Valentine's troubled daughter, who has had her share of dramatic storylines since arriving in Port Charles. Charlotte will be making a confession, which always signals a turning point in a character's journey. Confessions in soap operas rarely involve minor issues, and given Charlotte's complicated history, her revelation could have serious consequences for multiple characters. Burke, a daytime newcomer with an interesting background outside of soap operas, has brought a fresh energy to the role of Charlotte, capturing both the vulnerability of a young girl dealing with complicated family dynamics, and the strength she's inherited from both sides of her powerful family lineage. The confession could relate to something she's done, something she knows, or perhaps something she's been keeping secret to protect someone she loves. Whatever Charlotte reveals, it will likely create ripples throughout multiple storylines and potentially affect her relationships with both her father Valentine and others in Port Charles who care about her future. The week ahead promises unmissable drama. With all these powerful returns and dramatic confrontations scheduled for the week ahead, General Hospital fans are in for a treat as storylines converge and characters who have been separated find themselves face to face once again. The combination of veteran performers like Jane Elliott and Maurice Bernard with talented newcomers like Lucy Burke creates a dynamic that showcases the best of what daytime drama can offer. Multi-generational storytelling that honors the show's history while pushing forward into new and exciting territory. Next, we will learn about the dangerous situation unfolding at Windermere and the terrifying fate awaiting one of Port Charles' most formidable women. Anna Dean, the legendary super spy who has survived countless dangerous missions and outsmarted some of the world's most notorious villains, now finds herself trapped in a nightmare scenario that could finally break her iron will. The walls of Windermere on Spoon Island have witnessed many dark chapters throughout the years. But what's happening to Anna right now might be the most sinister plot yet conceived in this Gothic fortress. Jen Sidwell has proven himself to be one of the most calculating and ruthless criminals to ever set foot in Port Charles. His capture of Anna Dean wasn't some random act of violence or a simple kidnapping for ransom. This man operates on a completely different level than your average mob boss or petty criminal. Sidwell has carefully orchestrated every move, and his decision to take Anna hostage represents the culmination of a meticulously planned operation that has been in the works for months. The question that has everyone on edge is simple yet chilling. What exactly does this criminal mastermind want with a woman who has dedicated her entire life to fighting people just like him? Anna currently sits helpless in the shadowy confines of Windmere, completely at Sidwell's mercy and cut off from everyone who could possibly help her. The isolation alone is psychological torture for someone like Anna, who has always been in control, always 2 steps ahead of her enemies. Now she's the one who's been outmaneuvered, trapped in a location where screams go unheard, and help seems impossibly far away. The irony isn't lost on anyone familiar with Anna's history. This woman who has rescued countless others now desperately needs rescuing herself. Lucas Jones might be the unlikely hero who stumbles upon her location. But until that moment arrives, Anna must face whatever horror Sidwell has planned entirely on her own. The dark legacy of mind control in Port Charles. To understand the full gravity of Anna's current predicament, we need to revisit the sinister history of mind control and psychological manipulation that has plagued Port Charles for decades. Helena Casadini stands as the undisputed pioneer of this particular brand of evil. This woman wasn't satisfied with simple murder or traditional criminal enterprises. She wanted something far more insidious. Helena discovered and perfected the ability to completely hijack a person's mind to strip away their free will and turn them into programmable puppets dancing to her twisted tune. The comparison to an overbearing mother-in-law might draw a dark chuckle, but the reality of what Helena accomplished was nothing short of terrifying. Her victim list reads like a who's who of Port Charles heroes. Lucky Spencer, the golden-hearted son of Luke and Laura, was transformed into a Helena-controlled weapon. Jason Morgan, the stoic enforcer with an iron will, fell under her spell despite his considerable mental fortitude. Drew Kane suffered a similar fate. His memory scrambled and his identity stolen through Helena's machinations. Each case demonstrated that no one, no matter how strong, no matter how determined, was truly safe from her psychological warfare. Helena proved that the human mind, for all its complexity and resilience, could be hacked, rewritten, and weaponized by someone with the right knowledge and complete lack of moral restraints. Caesar Faison took Helena's blueprint and expanded it in horrifying new directions. This madman was obsessed with control and domination, and he saw mind manipulation as the ultimate expression of power over another human being. Among his many victims, Anna Dean herself experienced the nightmare of having her own mind turned against her. Faison's obsession with Anna went beyond simple attraction or revenge. He wanted to possess her completely, to strip away everything that made her who she was and rebuild her as his own creation. The psychological scars from that ordeal run deep, even for someone as resilient as Anna. This brings us to the current rumor circulating through Port Charles like wildfire. Could Caesar Faison somehow be pulling the strings right now? Yes, he's officially dead, but in Port Charles, death is often just a temporary inconvenience for villains with sufficient resources and determination. The evidence certainly points in his direction. Some speculate that an artificial intelligence version of Faison has been created. A digital ghost continuing his twisted work from beyond the grave. Whether it's the man himself having faked his death or some technological recreation of his brilliant but deranged mind. The technology being employed bears all the hallmarks of Faison's signature psychological terrorism. Sidwell's criminal empire and ruthless ambitions. Jen Sidwell has compiled an impressive criminal resume in his relatively short time operating in Port Charles. This isn't some amateur stumbling through the underworld. Sidwell is a professional in every sense of the word. His blackmail of Laura Collins and Sonny Corinthos over Professor Dalton's death demonstrated his willingness to target even the most powerful and connected individuals in town. He didn't just make empty threats. He had evidence, leverage, and the strategic mind to use both effectively. These are people who have faced down countless enemies. Yet, Sidwell had them both backed into corners with nowhere to turn. The seizure of Sonny's peers represented a direct challenge to the established power structure in Port Charles. Sonny Corinthos doesn't just lose territory. It's not in his nature to surrender ground to anyone. Yet, Sidwell managed to outmaneuver the mob boss and claim some of his most valuable assets. This wasn't just about money or territory. It was a statement of power, a declaration that a new player had arrived in Port Charles and wouldn't be intimidated by existing power structures. The boldness of that move alone should have been a warning to everyone that Sidwell operates without fear and without the usual criminal code that at least provides some predictability, too. The underworld. His recruitment of Britt Westman to run his laboratory adds another troubling dimension to his operation. Britt is a brilliant scientist, and her involvement suggests that Sidwell's interests extend far beyond traditional criminal enterprises into the realm of cutting-edge technology and potentially horrifying scientific applications. What kind of research is being conducted in that laboratory? What technologies is Sidwell developing or exploiting? The fact that he needs someone with Britt's expertise tells us that his plans involve sophisticated scientific knowledge that goes well beyond guns, drugs, and money laundering. Now, Sidwell has Anna Dean in his clutches. And this might be the most revealing move yet about his ultimate goals. Anna isn't just another hostage, she's a resource, a puzzle that Sidwell wants to solve. Throughout her long career in espionage, Anna has proven herself virtually unbreakable. Helena couldn't fully control her. Faison couldn't completely dominate her mind. She has been tortured, manipulated, drugged, and subjected to every form of psychological warfare imaginable. Yet, Anna always maintains that core of self, that unshakable sense of identity that allows her to resist and eventually overcome whatever is thrown at her. The secret Anna holds. What Sidwell wants isn't Anna's secrets about spy operations or classified intelligence. He wants something far more valuable. He wants to understand how she does it. How does Anna Dean, after decades of facing the absolute worst that the intelligence and criminal worlds can offer, still maintain her mental integrity? What's the secret to her self-control and her ability to withstand manipulation that would break virtually anyone else? This knowledge represents something priceless in the world of modern psychological warfare and mind control technology. If Sidwell can crack that code, if he can understand what makes Anna resistant where others fall, he'll possess information that could make him unstoppable. Imagine the applications of such knowledge. Sidwell could develop techniques to break anyone, no matter how strong their will. He could create soldiers or agents who are immune to enemy interrogation and manipulation. He could sell this information to the highest bidder among various intelligence agencies and criminal organizations around the world. The financial and power implications are staggering. Anna's mind has become the ultimate prize, the Rosetta Stone that could unlock secrets about human psychology and mental resilience that generations of researchers have tried to uncover. Can Sidwell succeed where others failed? The question haunting everyone who knows about Anna's situation is whether Sidwell can accomplish what Helena and Faison could not. Can he finally break the legendary Anna Dean? He certainly has advantages that his predecessors lacked. Modern technology has advanced considerably since Helena's heyday. And if Faison's research and equipment have fallen into Sidwell's hands, he's working with tools specifically designed to target the human mind with surgical precision. He's ruthless enough to use any method, no matter how brutal or unethical. The man has demonstrated that he possesses absolutely zero conscience, no moral boundary that would prevent him from inflicting whatever suffering necessary to achieve his goals. Lucy Coe's peculiar attraction to Sidwell adds a darkly comedic element to this otherwise grim situation. Lucy, who once entered Port Charles as a mousy librarian, does anyone else remember that innocent persona has always had questionable taste in men? Her romantic history is a graveyard of bad decisions and dangerously aeons, but Sidwell might represent her worst choice yet. The contrast between Lucy's bubbly personality and Sidwell's cold calculation creates a bizarre dynamic that would be amusing if the stakes weren't so high. Perhaps Lucy sees something in Sidwell that others miss. Or perhaps she's simply attracted to danger and power in its rawest form. Anna's time as Sidwell's captive will test every survival skill she's developed over her long career. She's facing a man who has studied her, who understands her history, and who possesses technology specifically designed to break through her mental defenses. The psychological warfare has already begun the moment she realized she was trapped. Sidwell will exploit every fear, every trauma, every vulnerability that Anna has accumulated over decades of dangerous living. He'll push her to her absolute limits and then push further, searching for that breaking point that everyone supposedly has. The possibility that Anna might emerge from this ordeal fundamentally broken is terrifying for everyone who knows and loves her. This woman is a pillar of strength in Port Charles. Someone others look to for courage and determination when situations seem hopeless. If Sidwell manages to shatter that strength, if Anna Dean walks out of Windermere as a shadow of her former self, the psychological impact will ripple through the entire community. It would prove that no one is truly safe, that even the strongest among us can be destroyed given enough time and the right methods. But there's another possibility that Sidwell might not have fully considered. Anna has survived this long precisely because she learns from every experience, every attack, every attempt to break her. Each encounter with someone like Helena or Faison made her stronger, taught her new techniques for mental resistance, added new layers to her psychological armor. Sidwell might find that he's not breaking Anna, he's forging her into something even more formidable. Sometimes what doesn't kill you really does make you stronger. And Anna Dean has spent a lifetime proving that truth. The real question is whether Sidwell will realize his mistake before it's too late. Before Anna turns the tables and transforms from victim to victor once again. Time will tell if Sidwell's gamble pays off or if he's made the fatal error of underestimating the most dangerous woman in Port Charles.